Good day, everyone. I am Glenn Valerie Ople, and today I will be presenting my assigned topic, Cultural Sensitivity and Inclusion in Early Childhood Education. Every child who enters the classroom brings something unique. They may come from different cultures, speak different languages, have different family experiences, or learn in different ways. As future early childhood educators, our responsibility is not to make every child fit into one standard. Instead, we must create an environment where every child feels respected, valued, and included. Today, I will discuss what cultural sensitivity and inclusion mean, why they are important in early childhood education and Montessori classrooms, and how teachers can apply them in actual classroom practice. To guide our discussion, we will first understand the meaning of cultural sensitivity and inclusion. Next, we will connect these two concepts to the Montessori philosophy. Then we will explore practical strategies and realistic classroom situations. Finally, I will share my personal reflection on how these lessons can guide me as a future educator. Before discussing inclusion, we first need to recognize something important. No two children are exactly alike. Children may differ in their language, culture, family background, interest, abilities, experiences, and ways of learning. These differences should not be seen as problems. Instead, they are part of what makes a classroom rich and meaningful. Cultural sensitivity begins when teachers recognize that children experience the world differently and that these experiences influence how they learn and interact with others. Sensitivity recognizes differences. Inclusion makes sure differences are welcomed. Although cultural sensitivity and inclusion are closely connected, they are not exactly the same. Cultural sensitivity focuses on recognizing, understanding, and respecting differences among children and families. Inclusion goes a step further. It ensures that children are not only present in the classroom but are also able to participate, contribute, and feel that they belong. In simple terms, cultural sensitivity helps us see and respect differences, while inclusion helps us create a space where those differences are welcomed. An inclusive classroom is built on five important foundations. First is respect, where every child's identity and experiences are valued. Second is equity. Equity means recognizing that children may need different types of support in order to succeed. Third is representation. Children should see people, families, and experiences that reflect the diversity of the real world. Fourth is participation, which ensures that every child has meaningful opportunities to engage in learning. And finally, all of these contribute to belonging, the feeling that a child is accepted and valued as a member of the classroom community. These principles strongly connect with the Montessori approach. At the center of the Montessori education is respect for the child. Montessori education recognizes that every child develops differently and should be supported according to their individual needs and readiness. Observation is also essential. The teacher carefully watches the child in order to understand their interests, strengths, and challenges. The prepared environment should provide meaningful opportunities for independence and exploration. Finally, Montessori education promotes peace, cooperation, and respect for others. Therefore, cultural sensitivity and inclusion are not separate from Montessori philosophy. They naturally support its central goal of respecting the uniqueness and dignity of every child. It can also strengthen a child's identity. When children see their language, family, or culture respected in the classroom, they receive the message that who they are matters. At the same time, children also learn empathy by interacting with people who may have experiences different from their own. The teacher plays a very important role in creating an inclusive environment. First, the teacher is an observer who tries to understand each child's individual needs. The teacher is also a bridge builder between the school, the child, and the family. Teachers must serve as role models by demonstrating respect and empathy in their daily interaction. They are facilitators who provide appropriate support rather than expecting every child to learn in exactly the same way. Finally, teachers must also reflect on their own beliefs and possible biases. Being culturally sensitive requires continuous learning and self-reflection. Remember, same goal, different support. Inclusion should not remain only a concept in books. It must be visible in everyday teaching practice. Teachers can represent diversity by choosing books and materials that reflect different cultures, families, and abilities. They can listen to children and families and learn from their experiences. Teachers can also adapt activities by using visual instructions, demonstrations, hands-on learning, or additional support when needed. Most importantly, teachers can create opportunities for children to connect, cooperate, and learn from one another. Inclusion also happens during unexpected moments in the classroom. For example, imagine a child asking, "Why does she speak differently?" Instead of ignoring the question or simply telling the child not to say that, the teacher can guide the conversation toward understanding. The teacher might explain that people communicate in different languages and in different ways, and that we can learn from one another. If the child is comfortable, the teacher might even invite them to teach the class a simple greeting from their language. This transforms a moment of difference into an opportunity for curiosity, respect, and learning. Let us now look at the practical classroom activity. This activity is called Our Stories, Our Classroom. Children are invited to share something meaningful about their home or family. It could be a favorite food, a word from their home language, or a family tradition. The teacher can create a classroom display using the children's contributions. This activity helps children understand that every family is unique. At the same time, they may discover similarities with their classmates. The teacher's responsibility is to make sure that every child's contribution is treated with equal respect and that no particular experience is presented as more normal or better than another. Here is another example connected specifically to the Montessori approach. Imagine a child who struggles to follow long verbal instructions. Instead of immediately assuming that the child is not paying attention, the Montessori teacher observes the child and considers what support may help. The teacher might demonstrate the activity, provide visual guidance, divide the task into smaller steps, or give the child additional time. This reflects an important idea. Fairness does not always mean giving every child exactly the same experience. Sometimes inclusion means providing different forms of support so that every child has a meaningful opportunity to participate. Of course, creating an inclusive classroom is not always easy. Teachers may experience challenges such as language differences, limited resources, different family expectations, or even their own unconscious biases. However, these challenges can also become opportunities for growth. Teachers can reflect on their practices, communicate with families, use visual and hands-on strategies, and gradually improve the representation of diversity in the classroom. Inclusion is not something that we complete once. It is an ongoing process of learning, observing, reflecting, and improving. Through studying this topic, I realized that every child brings a unique story into the classroom. As future early childhood educators, we must always look beyond the idea of treating everyone exactly the same. Instead, we need to understand children's individual experiences and provide meaningful opportunities for each child to learn and participate. Cultural sensitivity teaches us to recognize and respect differences. Inclusion challenges us to take the next step by creating an environment where those differences are welcomed and valued. As a future educator, I will apply what I have learned by becoming a more observant, reflective, and responsive teacher. I will choose materials carefully, listen to families, respect children's identities, and create learning experiences that allow every child to participate. I believe that one of the most important things we can give a child is the feeling that they belong. I would like to end with this message. Inclusion is not asking children to become the same. It is creating a space where every child can be different and still belong. Thank you, and I hope we can all continue to become educators who not only teach children, but also make sure that every child feels seen, respected, and included.